Let's go!
Man, tired. I ain't gonna lie. That was a lot of running right there that I did, and I don't think I was gonna be able to go that next play.
Anthony Richardson to the bench. Was this the right decision by the Indianapolis Colts? Are they thinking too short term in this situation? And obviously there is a big debate over the inability for Anthony Richardson to stay on the field and taking himself out of the game. We're going to be discussing all of that while also breaking down every single Colts. I say every snap. We're going to break down quite a few of them. We start things off. It was good to see Jonathan Taylor back healthy. He decides to get rid of the Guardian cap. I don't know why he didn't stick with it, but you get a nice gain here on first. All right, 3rd and 10, and I'm going to defend Anthony Richardson here, okay? This ball has to be caught right here by A.D. Mitchell, right? At Texas, he was really good at finding a way to stay in bounds on these types of catches. Now, once again, at Texas and at Georgia, you only had to have 1 foot in bounds. But these are the types of shots you want to take to a second-round rookie wide receiver who had a lot of first-round hype. He was able to get 1 foot in bounds. You can kind of see it was an awkward attempt to catch this, okay? Did that 1 foot get in? I don't know, but you would like to see this back right foot get dragged in some way, somehow. It couldn't, and it was an incomplete pass. All right, so we get to this 1st and 10 later into the game. We get a play action fake right here, and Anthony Richardson decides to not chunk any of these. I've looked at the all 22. Maybe one of these outs could have been completed, but this is what you want AR to do, right? Running the football with a fast dual-threat quarterback is overall a very efficient play. Anthony Richardson puts on the afterburners, and he picks up a nice first down on the ground. All right, so it's 2nd and Brownsburg here, still 3-3 midway through the first quarter, and this is some ridiculously good quarterback play and some poor tight end play, okay? They're bringing a really well-timed pressure here from Devin White. So Anthony Richardson's hot. There's nobody here to block Devin White off the edge. So watch what he does. Steps up into the pocket, resets his feet with Will Anderson right in his face. He gets this off, and look at where it's actually located. Make that damn catch, Will Mallory. Goodness gracious, okay? All right, so we get to this 3rd and 13, and this is really poor quarterback play. And if you want to see how this is actually supposed to look, we just released our Kirk Cousins film study on how he's able to throw with a lot more anticipation than most. All right, so this is a longer developing play. It's 3rd and 13. You're running like a go-stop combo right here, okay? This is there, all right? This can be ripped now, all right? But what does Anthony Richardson do? He pumps, and now his footwork is all out of sorts. There's a guy right on him, and he can't really fully step into it. You've got to be able to make this throw, okay, with some anticipation. The guy's not going to be looking at you every single time you're going to be throwing the football, especially a longer throw such as this. This is on the quarterback. Mechanics get all weird. You've got to make that throw. So we get to the Josh Downs touchdown, and this play accounted for 1/3 of Anthony Richardson's production in this game. And this was a classic case of two DBs kind of running into each other, right? And it was actually Alec Pierce running into both of these DBs, and Downs turns his safety around, and he's wide open. Now, even though he was wide the frick open, at least you see some, and I mean some anticipation. Now, obviously, this is crystal clear wide open. It's never going to be more open than this. But look at when he's actually throwing it. That's before Downs is even out here, okay? So you do give AR some credit there while he's getting hit, and it is an easy completion, easy touchdown for the Colts. Good stuff. Yeah, so this has been a big problem. 0 for 5 on 3rd downs, and this actually becomes a 3rd and medium, and this is probably my least favorite concept in football, all hitches. I do not like all hitches. For a lot of different reasons, okay? So you'll see all 5 receivers are running hitches, and Anthony Richardson is just staring this down to Josh Downs basically the entire time. And, you know, Petrie is a DB that's played a lot of football. He sees it. Anthony Richardson tries to throw with some anticipation here, and it's picked off, right? A huge turnover in the red zone. Obviously not the biggest fan of the concept, but you just can't throw that. And score right before half, and now it is Anthony Richardson time. And boy, oh boy, I love this orbit motion. Work the backside here. Will Anderson, a very aggressive end. He takes himself out of the play, doesn't do a good job, keep it contained. I'm a little shocked that Richardson did decide to end up pitching this anyway. It was the right decision, especially if you have an accurate pitch, but I really, really love the creativity. And this is more good stuff from Steichen. So you get a pre-snap motion right here, and you show a fake screen to the right, and you're working the slant to the bottom. Okay. Now, what's interesting is this left tackle decides to cut block. Normally, if you see a tackle cut blocking, that's to get the end chopped down so his hands don't get involved in the quick game. But guess what? It doesn't work. He whiffed it. Will Anderson's fully erect here. Pause.
They heat me up. They says it's pause of the year so far.
He is standing straight tall. And Anthony Richardson, look at this. It becomes like a little bit of a sidearm release here. Look at this. Bang. Around his arms, right into the window, leads him to make it a third and manageable. Now we get to the next play, and then it becomes a disaster. All right, really good play, display of ball security, and now you have this, all right? The ball was never handled well. It looked like the snap was good, and now it's just loose, right? It's just, I mean, you're going to get calamity with Anthony Richardson at quarterback, and you actually get a little lucky that Will Anderson did not catch that fumble clean, because if he does, it's a touchdown the other way. So you get a little bit of bounce luck there, and it does eventually go back to Anthony Richardson. Alrighty, so we get to this Anthony Richardson 4th and 3 play. I love the boldness of just giving him the ball, and this is, there's no pass option here. This is, let's just run a QB sweep and see if he can pick it up, and boy, does he pick it up. Now, we all know what happens a little bit later in the drive. I do feel showing this play does add a little extra context to everything. So it's 2nd and McCordsville here, and this is a play it's got everyone up in arms. So you saw a little bit earlier that Anthony Richardson, with his legs, had to pick up a first down. Now, here's a DT right in his face, and Anthony Richardson has to shrug this 300-pounder off of him. Okay, so that is a relatively exhausting move to make, and then he's got to sprint right through all of it to turn this into a positive and potentially converting third down situation. And obviously the Texans defense, which has a lot of speed, does a good job chasing him down, and he takes himself out of the game. I'm sorry, you just can't do it at the quarterback position. All right, now if he had just said, hey, I landed on the ball awkwardly, which he does right here, and his ribs are hurt or whatever, then I get it. But one thing I'll say, let's just say Anthony Richardson was really hurt or whatever, really tired and taking himself out of the game, just fall on the ground, right? Because if you fall on the ground, like right here, if you want to go out, they're not going to force you to burn a timeout. They'll call the play dead, and you can see he starts patting his helmet to get Joe Flacco into the game. All right, so AR stays in the game. You got a little orbit motion here. And, yeah, if you're up by 10 in the fourth quarter, it's just natural for a defense to get conservative. Play action fake. Is that a hold right there at the top? They didn't call it, so you live with it. And it is the deep over right here to Michael Pittman that hits him right in stride. Really good quarterbacking there. And with Joe Flacco at quarterback, it's just going to make Josh Downs more effective. You're going to see a lot of this with Flacco. The whip route versus man coverage, you just really can't stop it if you're a DB, especially versus someone like Downs. And yeah, that ball location wasn't the best, but it's better to throw it lower to Downs than higher. He's able to turn upfield and pick up a nice gain. I mean, could you imagine if Josh Downs was fully healthy for the entire season, what his numbers could potentially be? I mean, this is not really his game, right? He's a slot guy, and you'll see at the snap in press man, they're like, hey, we're tired of Josh Downs diddly-daddling whip routes. We're going to get in his face. And then the Colts say, guess what? if you're going to press up on them, we're going to run a go ball right behind you. And AR is actually a little late on this. You can see Downs has a step now, and he finally steps up into the pocket, 2 hands on the ball, really good stuff, and he gets rid of it finally. All right, Downs always had a step. He had to wait on it a little bit. The DB does a good job getting back into the play, and Downs makes a very difficult catch at the 1-yard line. And, of course, the Colts will go on to score. So Anthony Richardson gets 2 cracks to go win this game. The drive before this one, Quentin Nelson had a critical false start, and the left tackle got beat twice. I think one of the throws on the 3rd and 15, Anthony Richardson could have got off, but it wouldn't have picked up the first down anyway. So we get here, and once again, there is a decent amount of pressure here, and could this have been thrown to Pittman right here? Yes. Okay, that could have been fired in there, but if you have this much room to run, I guess you could just do that as well, okay? So he picks up all these yards, and we get to the next play. Okay, so it's 1st and 10, 28 seconds left, and you really, really, really need this ball to be completed to Will Mallory, okay? You're able to break the pocket. You throw off balance. You just got to get this here, okay? You just do. Could Mallory have still caught this? I'll show you the end zone angle, and I'll let you make your own conclusions here, but, man, you would like to see this get completed. All right, it's a good job, getting off your mark here, but no, it's just a bad throw. All right, so here we go, 2nd down, roughly 24-ish seconds left to go. The whole thing's just kind of off kilter there, and you get a drop, okay? Now, once again, I'm playing these plays at full speed. I mean, this is a really good pocket. And this is a good read right here by Anthony Richardson. This is where you want to go with the football. And look at the anticipation he's throwing with. Is the ball slightly behind Pierce? Yes, so there is some accuracy issues. You got to catch that, though. You do. It's a difficult catch, but you got to make it. Now, the downside of this is you want this ball to be more out anyway because you don't have any timeouts left. So throwing behind him is very inexcusable, but still it needs to be caught. 3rd and 10, 18 seconds left to go. And guess what? They bring heavy pressure, and it's stonewalled. I mean, this is really good protection here. I mean, that's about as good as you're going to get it. And, man, this is just really good coverage. It's not the best throw. You would like that ball to be right on Downs to potentially draw a pass interference penalty. Also, what you could do is work this to Pierce, right? Does a go ball to Pierce get completed? It's tough to really think with this safety's depth. But, man, I don't know. It's tough to really see. But either way, you hate to waste good pass pro there. 4th and 10, game on the line. You got to have it. And, well, Anthony Richardson takes the smart option. Live to fight another down, take the check down, and boom, there you go. Hurry up, spike the football. Really, really, really good stuff. So the Colts were able to hurry up and spike this football and play one more down. Obviously, in a perfect world, you would have liked to have gotten in field goal range. But now with just 1 second, you do have to go for the Hail Mary. And let me start by saying I am not an Anthony Richardson hater. I understand the argument for keeping him in the game or just keeping him as a starter because, he only has 10 starts. And I'm still a believer in the raw talent. But I just don't know if it's all going to come together. I've seen a few statistical comparisons to Josh Allen and the start of his career compared to Anthony Richardson. So you're buying that the talent will hopefully get better. But whatever the case may be, this offensive line just isn't playing all that great. I'll admit that. Run blocking hadn't really been an issue. But the pass protection, especially in this fourth quarter, now granted, this is probably the best pass rush in the NFL right now. Still, it's a mess, right? The Colts offense is a mess. I do think, though, right now, if your goal is to go out there and win right now with a 4-4 team, you start Joe Flacco. Joe, I think, is the better quarterback. He lost one game versus Jacksonville where the defense truly was horrendous. So I do think Flacco's the better option, and I do think the locker room was a little bit more split on Anthony Richardson's decision to take himself out of the game. So let me know what you guys think, if Joe should have the job or not. Okay, it is Power Hour NFL. Boom! And tonight we are doing barbecue chicken. Let's go.